Probably a better way of doing this now would be to install the PSU first and see if the computer works. But let's just YOLO this and see. If they have to tell you, maybe you should eat it. Nah, let's YOLO it. Let's YOLO it. So the dusty environment of a woodworking shop is perfectly conducive to working with fine electronics. Do we read instructions, really? Oh, I cursed myself by saying it was easy. This is not cable management, this is cable violence. Let's do this. Alright guys, so check this out. Today you find me in my woodworking shop, but we're not doing woodworking today. This whole computer needs to be fixed, and that's what we're trying to do. This chassis is from around the early 2000s. When I purchased it, it was some kind of a mid to high range gaming computer at the time. And since it has served as a NAS, that was kind of a failed project. I put a new motherboard into it and some kind of cheap CPU. A couple of months ago I started trying to see, what can I do with this whole thing? Then my brand spanking new computer died. So it's off for repair and I need to get this thing up and running. And if you're seeing this video, chances are it's actually edited on this thing here. Right, so this is inside the beast, and the real problem here, apart from, the fact that I'm missing parts from the chassis or the cabinet and that there's spaghetti all over the place, is the fact that the 5 volt on this 20-year-old power supply is dying. And also it says it has a 205 watt max output. I don't know what the 350 here sign is, but whatever. So inside this box is supposed to be a Corsair TX55M PSU. It's PSU, semi-modular PSU. I purchased it used, so I hope it works and hope that it'll fit in my new cabinet. And this is another used purchase. It's the Cooler Master Q500L, famous for being one of the smallest full ATX cabinets and also for having some cooling issues. I'm hoping that the PSU fits in this because I haven't checked. Probably a better way of doing this now would be to install the PSU first and see if the computer works. But let's just YOLO this and see. Let's do this. Since I'm kind of a camera channel as well, today I'm recording on my Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II. And perhaps we'll be using my Sony Handycam HDR CX320 and my overgrown EOS M rig here, the Canon EOS M. First let's unbox this. This is probably the box for the guy's new PSU. Yep, we'll read this if everything goes wrong. Yep. Cables and stuff. So let's see here. Now, if they have to tell you, maybe you should eat it. Screws and stuff. So there it is. The Corsair TX55M. Let's see what kind of connectors we got. I need the normal 12 volt for the EATX 12 volt. I don't know what the hell that is. There's a plug going into the motherboard. EATX 12. So that's the 12 volt. What it says basically. It's supposed to do 3 volts, 12 volts, and 5 volts. So we got that one. I'll be honest, this is the first time I'm changing PSU. That's the 4-pin one. So that means I need a 4 to 3 pin adapter. Or will it fit? It says CPU. So it goes here. This is the one I'm looking for. These are some SATA cables. And we have, how many SATA cables do we have? I need at least 2. I have 2 discs that needs powering. Yeah. So this will be perfect. Do you think we should test? Do you think we should test the power supply? Before? Nah, let's YOLO it. Let's YOLO it. I think our next step will be to unbox the new cabinet. see what we got to work with. The guy I purchased it from said that he basically bought this about a year ago, planning to build something with it, and then just never ended up using it. So it's supposed to be basically unused. Get away from me! Well, it looks good. Nice. And these thumb screws here, they double as feet, so that you can keep it this way. The glass cover here is plastic, basically. It's not hardened glass, and I mean, a lot of the reviewers were bashing this. So yeah, I guess it depends on how important that is for you. Oh, flathead screws. My lord. So the dusty environment of a woodworking shop is perfectly conducive to working with fine electronics. Not. What is up and down on this case? So this one, that's the front basically. All right. I think we'll take off some of these just so it'll be easier to maneuver this thing around. There's a fan here already. I didn't think it came with a fan, but it does. That's good. So I must have thrown away all the old fans for the old cabinet there. Do we read instructions really? So this thing is the brace for the PSU. Let's try to plan out this build a little bit. See, I've got two SATA disks, or two SATA SSDs. 2.25. Basically one that is running my OS and one that is my scratch disk. And I think we'll mount them behind this hatch here. So these are the 2.5-inch SSDs, and they're mounted in these bays or trays here that are basically made to fit stuff that were in these old 5.25 or whatever, and they can also do a 3-inch disc on these. But for these ones, there's mounting plates behind this hatch here, and there's supposed to be space for 4 of these SSDs here, but I kind of only need 2 right now. So yeah, let's see here. Let's try just to unscrew one of these to see what's up and what's what. Aha, okay. That gives me access to the back of the motherboard. Maybe we'll see a tidy cable management from me as well for once. I doubt it though. All right, let's get this thing on again. Let's get a shot of this in case I screw it up. Remember what goes where. I'm thinking we remove the PSU first. I don't need to remove the PSU. I only need to remove the motherboard. Yep. What a complete train wreck this here. Oh, come on. It's not that bad. I mean, you should have seen the other guy. But seriously, oh, come on. Oh, let's try not to ruin the motherboard. Ah, there. Okay. These SATA cables with these lock doohickeys here are they're a lot better than I had some old ones that just slopped in and they didn't really feel like they were fixed well. Like, I wasn't confident that, you know, when I'm lugging around the computer that they would actually stay in their sockets. I think is what I'm getting at here. So do we leave is it even color coded this? Is there even a header? We'll nip them off and let future me handle this. It's always a good idea, isn't it? Seeing as it's already loose. I'll just sneak the GPU out. This is the GTX 1063GB card. I would have purchased a 6GB if I had the option at the moment, but this one was available by a guy who was selling it locally the day I wanted it, basically. This motherboard is a Ivy or Sandy Bridge motherboard, and the CPU is it's the hottest CPU that's possible to get for this. Hottest, it's the fastest. It's the i7-3770, and for the guys doing overclocking, they're kind of discussing whether this one or the K version is best for overclocking. And I'm sure people that are working with that have their points of view on that, but I've never done overclocking, so I have absolutely no idea. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I have the stock cooler on it. I noticed that it was running a little bit hot on one of the cores compared to the others. Yeah, let's just take off these trays when we have it accessible like this. Like everything, when I'm doctoring my computers, I always feel like it's a wonder when it works. So yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. Oh, the IO shield. The IO shield. This thing has been a bitch from the start. All of these tabs, you know, I don't know, are you supposed to bend them away or whatever, you know? So that's it. The old Dragon. It was actually named Dragon or something, this cabinet here. And at the time, known for being accessible and easy to work with. But let's hope the world has moved on since then. Alright, so now we need a strut here. This is down, that's the back. These are many cables going to stuff I don't know what is. Let's just bend them a little bit out of the way for now. Oh, there's screws. Tabs, spacers, tabs. What are these tabs for? I think there's some of these triangles are going on top here. Right, so here it says, I don't know if you can see, but it says ATX-A, Micro ATX M and Mini ATX I. So we're using these here connectors. Again, if you need to be told not to eat this and you're grown up, maybe you should eat it. The power supply. The power supply, the power supply. Does it even fit? It would be a good start if it did. Do we have any preference whether this blows into the cabinet or not? Let's just see that it actually fits first. I want this to be accessible, so I want this part down. It seems to fit there. This doohickey goes on top, and the motherboard seems to fit that way. Yeah, ample space. At least we think so. Cross our fingers. This begs the question, do we blow the air into the cabinet or out of the cabinet from the power supply? Alright, so some wise fellow on the interwebs on YouTube said that the side with the brackets is the exhaust side. So basically this fan here is exhausting air, giving us an airflow in this direction. And I think it would be wise. Well, I'm going for helping that direction there. So yeah, that's what we're going with. So the PSU seems to be meant to be screwed in from the top of this bracket here, so we need to get that off. I'm not going to lie, I actually took a peek in the manual. It's quite interesting because it also said that the way I'm planning to mount fans, not that I have more than the one exhaust fan at the moment, but the way I'm planning to mount fans for ATX cards, it says that you can only fit 120 millimeters, so not 140 millimeter fans. I guess that's, you have to live with those kind of things when you want such a small chassis or cabinet. So it goes in there, and there was an abundance of screws that fit. B, so these screws are the ones that goes in there. Okay. This here type of screw basically. It's a really confusing cabinet. I keep losing like the directions, what's going where. And I believe putting this in place first will be nice, right? There's no on-off button back here, which means that we need to turn it on. Is there any point to jamming it up there? Is there anything to win or gain on doing it that way? Probably can't tell, but there is a on this grid here, there's a very fine line drawn, and that indicates the area where you could fit the PSU. And I'm just trying to figure out whether there's any gain to mounting it as high as I possibly could. And I think I'll do that. I'll leave a space underneath for an intake fan at a later point. You know, should I want one? I don't know if it's possible to tell, but there is a very fine line going here. And I'm trying to fix the PSU as far up as I can, like there. You can see up here. It'll give me as much space as possible for an intake fan down here. What's wrong with these? They're identical. Come on, are we in a completely wrong place? Are we using the wrong screw? What's the problem here? Okay, so these screws are the wrong screws, basically. That's the problem right there. It's quite certain that come on. That seemed to work better. I'm quite sure that I'll get some very beautiful shots of the back of my head. There'll be a learning curve to camera placement here. Let's go with the motherboard, huh? I/O shield goes in this way. I've always struggled with this I/O shield. I mean, now it seems to be on. First time I mounted this, maybe I was just too careful with it. Who knows? Who knows? Expensive computer yeah, well, they were expensive at some point at least. Is this even an ATX motherboard? Are there any dedicated motherboard screws here? B. Okay, the same ones basically as the PSU. These ones. This is my secret weapon. It's like a short handle screwdriver. I think there were 6 screws. So this is the thing, I don't know, are these supposed to slot in, or the tabs on this is what I'm talking about, tabs on the I/O plate? I really don't know. Seems to be in there though. I'm not cranking down on these screws, I'm just finger tightening them. Oh, come on. Yeah, that one is magnetic. I'll use that to get it in. And it's the short handled one in there. Alright, so that should be the motherboard in. I'm starting to think, I thought this was an ATX motherboard. I'm starting to think that is a micro ATX. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments. I haven't looked it up by then myself. So this one is easy. It goes on, or at least it goes, we know where it goes. It goes here. We should tuck it in back and then bring it up here. I said it was easy, so I'm suffering from that statement already. You should never have said it was easy. Oh, Lorina, trouble so hard. There must be people with bigger hands than me building computers. Oh, come on. Everyone is, it's not even in there. Oh, I cursed myself by saying it was easy. Oh, there, thank you. Thank you. All right, so that, it needs to be tucked away somewhere behind and then come up through the doohickey thingamabob and then around. So that's what we'll do. These cables here, I'm sure there is something in the manual that will tell me what those are for. So yeah, let's start planning cable management here. All right, and for that we'll want this off. You know, you'd think with 4 camera angles that I managed to get 1 camera angle where it's possible to tell what I'm doing. So let's try to go out here. And then whatever. And then in here again. And now, please be more... Is there anything you can put on these? Like contact spray, CRC. Is that going to work? Yep, it's in there. I think it's in there. And we'll cable manage you. You're being managed, Mr. Cable. Out here. And for now, I'll just tuck it there. We'll handle that later. This is the front USBs. It can probably just be hooked up now because it's easy to just get them out of the way. I'm not going to say it's easy again, but I'm just thinking, you know, let's just get it out of the way. Here we have the USB 3.0 cable for the front. I'm just wondering whether I want the USB 3.0 to be in the front at all. Let's make that a problem for future us. For now, we just stick it in here, bring it out again. Is there any point? Yeah, there's a point. It's very long, this cable. So we'll sneak it out here. Yeah, it's going to be a wild party in here, you know, trying to get a fan in there at a later point, but whatever. And then back out here, actually bring it up and around this way. And there is the USB 3.0 cable, or no, connector. Has a notch on it, so it only goes one way. Let's try not to bend any of the pins. That would be preferable. Feels like it's in there. This says CPU. Let's assume it's actually for the CPU then. Let's take it out here. I think we'll bring it around, up and over this point here. You can tell it brings the cable around here, right? And there's our connector. Yep. This already looks a ton better than the old computer, but you know, it's there's a small detail of getting it working. Panel, LED, PLED, power, reset. Okay, reset switch, HDD LED, power switch, power LED, power LED. Okay, let's just start. The reset switch goes, yeah, we could try to do something like that. Anyway, the reset switch, power switch. Oh god, this is impossible for you guys to tell. Basically, it's very nice that they're labeled these. That actually makes it possible to place them. Where do you even go? HD audio. A problem for future me. Let's just get it out of the way for now. There is probably like a map of this entire thing in the user's manual, which is available online. So HD LED Plus is the left one. I'm going to have to check it. Come on, it's like we've been doing computers since I don't know when did it start? 60s. Before that. And this is the solution for that. This is the conundrum. My last conundrum, which goes where of the plus or minus. And these are the small pins here. I don't know if it even matters, but we're going to check it. So on my old Mac here from 2015, I think. Oh man, no, it's early 2013. I love this. This laptop, by the way, best laptop I've ever had. Anyway, so we consulted the manual. It's indeed an ATX motherboard, and yep, the left one is the plus sign or the positive connector. So I've got 4 cameras, and I managed to start one of them. The lowest common denominator on how to do this. Come on, wow. Over here we find the audio, the 8-channel audio. So how are we supposed to like traverse this area here? Anyway, it goes in here. Oh, this is great entertainment. You can't see anything now. I have no idea how we're going to cable manage that, but it's there. nevertheless, let's do the discs before we do them on the board. This goes in here. I should probably get a 8 to 6. Well, that's what I have here basically. See the graphics card. This one only accepts a 6-pin, right? So that's pretty easy. Let's not say that word! This one goes in here. I mean, for the SATA discs, we just need to just pull it out there at once. And take a look, these two gray ones here, they are SATA 6 connectors. So, of course, we'll be using those. Hook them up right away. I don't know, is there like any, does it matter which one of these are the system disk? I don't think so, because you can tell the system in the BIOS which disk to boot from, but these ones here, I mean, they could just go under here, right? Couldn't they? I don't know, never thought I'd say this, but it's actually fun to manage these cables a bit. When it's possible, you know? Because the last, I mean, you saw that jumble of spaghetti. That wasn't fun doing anything. I mean, it was fun getting it working, don't get me wrong, it was fun getting it working. I'm at the point in the project now where I want to get this done. It's a little bit dangerous. It's a dangerous place to be because you tend to rush things. But I mean, this whole thing has been a YOLO build from the start. Yeah, but bring those under there. I mean, if I manage, I'm a complete and utter noob at this. And if I manage to build in this chassis, in this cabinet, anyone can. So let's see. We got 2 of these discs. I just need to free them. Freedom! I wonder if I have more of those same size screws there. Or you could just check the manual because, you know, it'll probably say C. So these screws basically. Luckily these trays here, these 5 point something to 2.5 trays were not expensive. I mean, this cabinet here doesn't have anything that I need them for. So what do we have here? It is the 960. So this is my scratch disk. Well, is that going to work? That's not going to work on this, is it? This is like that. And I can't fix it this way. Okay. We may have a solution for that. Let's just get this one out of the bay as well. Magnetic screwdrivers, my friend. Oh, that's the best thing ever. That one, I don't know why they made the front of it black. It's just to cheat, basically, because it's not magnetic. See? This one is. This is 240 gigabyte. That is the operating system. I think we can reverse these. I don't think it's a male and a female end on these. They are the same at both sides. We shall run them through. Oops, what am I hooking on here? Something there, important probably, expensive, yes. So, yep, they're the same on both sides. Oh, we're this way now, meaning we can go this way. No, we can't. And there's no way I'm hooking up to the SATA 3. What kind of discs are these? Doesn't frickin' say. Alright, so I was rummaging around in my cable supply. I managed to find 2 of the SATA cables without the bend on them. It's a little bit sad. This one, it has the locks on. This one doesn't. So I'll be using this for the scratch disk and this for the system disk. And also I managed to find another 8 to 6 pin connector. And I think that is a better fit. This one has, you know, all this other crap on it. I think if we could get this out, and I managed to, we'll try to replace that with this one. There, that one goes to the graphics card. Also, I figured out that for the chassis fan number 1 is this one, power fan and chassis fan. This one only has 3 pins. Well, we should Google that, shouldn't we? Alright, so where it says power fan here basically is supposed to be, or this is an old, very old motherboard, right? So it's meant for power supplies that needed an extra fan. And I also checked, well, Google that means, you know, and I can connect a 3-pin connector to a 4-pin connector. So that's just that's what I'm going to do. And I'll just slot it right in here. So that is those connected up. Now, let's go with this one. So there's SATA 6 connectors there, and this crappy old cable here. There. I think I'll order or buy another SATA cable and one with locks, because I really don't trust these. They seem to be just like hanging there. It's just luck. It's just dumb luck, the fact that they're not falling off, these unsecured SATA connectors. And now let's see, where do we fit these? Do we fit these low or high? So this one 240, that goes to this, something like that maybe, something like that maybe, and connected something like this. Someone tightened up these thumb screws like their life depended on it. How we started recording, we have. So it's a good thing. At least if you want to make videos, you know. Now the number of times us content creators, or at least me, I don't know, but I've heard, you know, screw up in the simple thing, the most simple task, you know, start the camera. You know, I understand why people that work with this every day, repairing computers, why they get those tiny electrical screwdrivers, you know. Like I said, this is a wood shop, you know, and you know, something like this, it would not help us here, trust me. 960 goes here. The smart thing now would be to label them. That would be also be assuming that I'm smart. Now we have space for 2 more SATA disks here. There's 4 more SATA connectors on the motherboard. You just jam them in here. I mean, basically these are the ones, yeah. In the old chassis, I just taped it there, you know, before I got those trays that you saw. No, these ones with the sound dampening and a luxury item. Not that you need a sound dampening for an SSD disk that doesn't move, but those are also meant for 2.5, 2.5 inch spinning disks as well, of course. So yeah, did we manage to put it the right way? It looks like it. I've already forgotten which was which. This was the 240, 960 gigabytes. Let's see what's going to be more difficult here. That one was easier than some of the other things we've done today. There. Oh no, come on. There's no room for this. I don't think I have anything that will rip. Yep, we managed. And of course, make room. Come on, come on, come on. You can do it. You can get it if you really want. It's the dumbest thing ever. Come on. Ooh, and 1 gigabyte, no, 1 terabyte SSD disk this way. With data that I haven't backed up, we should be able to make it. Come on. I believe I can fly. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Yes! If that works, oh well. Yo. And then, this is not cable management, this is cable violence. Up, whatever. I believe in you. I believe in you. All right, you know, if this works, yeah, that will be a little miracle. Now it's time for the GPU. So what's your strat? You know, do you just assume that it'll work and tidy it up, or do you test the doohickey before you? Where do we put this? We can put it here. We can put it down there. I think with one we're going up here, and I need to take out those 2 covers. And they put the screws there in the most ungodly positions ever. Let's see. Oh, thought of everything, didn't they? Well, that's stretching it a bit. But, you know, the fact that you can access these like this, that's really something, isn't it? Now, don't throw away these things. Down the line, you'll be looking at... I'm not going to lie, there's a little bit of coil wine from this board. Whatever, so let's see. This graphics card has been in this motherboard before, so that shouldn't be a problem. There's actually some good fixing screws on this side here. The one in the old chassis, or I keep calling it a chassis, the one in the old cabinet, they didn't really support the graphics card here, so it sagged, or I don't know if it sagged, but it looked like it would sag at least. Didn't look very supported over here. They were just open on this side. This looks a lot better. Perfecto. You know what? I'll take the chance that what we did here today is fantastic and will work. And I will ID the cables before we bring this up to the living room and actually test it out. It's only going to cost us a couple of cable ties. Wow, these were bad. Oh, it doesn't hold anything. I think I'll go in there with this one just to get it out of the way. I mean, I have so much cable left here. I can just go through here, back again here, and then I can kind of pull it out there again. And it goes this way, like so. And I believe, I believe that should be this PC functional if everything works. You know? This doesn't have to be pretty. We can just jam it in here. Jamming. Everybody be jamming. I could get those up there with like a cable tie here, or manually focusing. I did manually focus, like so. Sure, be complete party if it works. Could kind of collect those there. It won't be tidying, it will just be securing them a little bit, basically. Are you seeing the back of my head now? It's not a complete train wreck. Let's see what we can do here. So this one, it just kind of traverses the entire thing. And I was like, where am I going to put it? Can I kind of... I don't want it down on the... Can we bring it around there? Can. That's so strange. This is the underside. I can fix it there. There will be no problem. I'll use one of the holes in the... Because there's a grid work of holes in the entire case here, right? I'll just use some of those to get these things out of our face, basically. If I get any footage of that's worth watching, then I'll be astounded. I mean, from the cable tidying part right now. These things here are kind of excellent. There's these rubber snaps here, doohickeys, thingamabobs, plugs, like so. It's not a complete train wreck, I don't think. I think that will be the extent of the cable management I do for now, until we can see that this thing actually works. If this SATA disk works, I mean, then everything will work. I don't know another way to put that. I hope it works. Of course we hope it works. And like, I'm not building something just, oh, I hope it doesn't work. I'll be kind of stupid, but my stomach is rumbling. All I've had today is lunch, a yogurt and 2 slices of bread. And of course, like everything, I underestimated the time that this would take. Because, I mean, why wouldn't it go quickly when it's the first time you build a computer? Building a computer and building. It's like, I put the motherboard into that old chassis that you saw. So I guess that maybe counts as building a computer, but... And is this building really? It's not from the ground up. Oh, call it what you want to call it. Now there was something with these triangles. They're like supposed to do some weird... I don't know what their roles are. Maybe they're there to keep the dust filters in place. Do you think? It's there, right? But I don't know what's the deal with these. Maybe it just, oh yeah, it helps locate them a bit better. I see. These are the triangles in question, and then it goes flunk. Yeah, It helps locate them basically. So there it is, almost complete, and let's cross our fingers and see if it works. But anyway, it's my like 2013-14 era computer, Asus motherboard P68V LE, whatever that means, Luxus Edition something, with an i7-3770 Ivy Bridge processor, 32 gigs of RAM, I believe, it's DDR3 Corsair, and an Asus GTX 1063GB GPU. There it is. All right. So, is that button? It's an awkward position. We're hearing life signs. Power's been off, so yes. We probably need to tell it the boot order. That is my boot disk. Sounded like a good sound. Alright, so we're inside Windows. It's not a complete success because I can't get the keyboard to work. Or I mean, for now. Right? We have the keyboard working. Grand success.